get into this game here. So this is Dutch Elephant in the Hindenburg. Now, the Hindenburg is a very fun cruiser. She's a German heavy cruiser. She's armed with 203 or 210mm guns. Either way, because of the German gimmick, in a sense, it's got 1/4 HE pen. So those HE shells will pen 50mm armor. That makes her a very comfortable ship for playing at medium to long range, especially long range. You can get away with playing her with things like double rudder and range build and all that. That's how I play her. And I just don't care. I kind of turn my brain off and I just focus on, playing the game and enjoying it. You could also spec her more for up-close brawling. She's got 6-kilometer torpedoes. The AP on her is okay. It's okay if you can get up close and personal with somebody, especially an enemy cruiser, and smash them with AP. You can do that. But at long range, the AP is very lackluster. The other thing about the German cruiser line is for right now, they've got roll-off depth charges, which is, of course, rather frustrating. You can take a scout plane, which helps for farming things at ultra-long range. And other than that, I'd say she's a very comfortable ship. She's one of my favorites in the game. And I really do enjoy playing Hindenburg every now and then. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the build. This is Dutch Elephant's game. So we're going to pull up his build in the ship. Where is my build viewer? There's my build viewer. Here we go. So Dutch Elephant has chosen to go for rudder, propulsion, and main battery. Okay. So main arms are marred 1. Engine room is good. Aiming system's fine. Propulsion. Now, propulsion, you could do rudder. It's up to you. Steering gears. You could also do concealment, but steering gears, if you're going to play at longer range farming, perfectly fine. That's how I would put it. And then main battery mod 3. Now, alternately, you could go for range here. Personally, I go for range, but reload is okay. Getting the extra reload time isn't too bad. You'll note that the rudder shift time is 7 seconds, so it's not bad at all. I'm sorry, Grunty, were you saying something?
I said I like the reload over the range because you always have the spotter plane.
Yeah, you got the spotter plane, and so what's the current range on these shells? 17 point. Yeah. So, you want at least 20-kilometer range, and you can get that with the spotting aircraft, so that is true. Personally, I just like the flexibility that the range gives me where I can be kiting away from a target and not feel like I need to put my plane up. So there's that.
But the problem I have with taking the range is it incentivizes people to stay even further in the back, which usually lowers your battle influence.
Yeah. I haven't felt that way with this ship. There's a few ships, hey Gloryfire, there's a few ships that can work for. Donskoy is another example of a ship that I ran range on. And I actually really enjoyed it.
I would run range on the Donskoy.
Yeah. All right, let's get into your captain. Dutch, is this a special captain? Is it Lutyens, for example, or von Jutland? You on reload and spotter plane on your Hindi Panzer Kex? Cool.
Why there's so many 1-point skills?
I run range just due to the simple fact I take the legendary module.
I hate the legendary module.
So the unique upgrade for the Hindenburg basically makes it so you don't burn flood as much, or your rudder gets broken, it gets repaired pretty quick. It's very good if you want to be a damage sponge. If you want to be somebody that's out there getting shot at by people and you just refuse to die, this isn't a bad option.
The thing is, the Hindenburg already, you get the extra heal on the German cruisers. It's a regular burn duration for the fires. Mm-hmm. So usually dying, especially if you play at longer ranges, dying to fires or dot damage is usually not what kills you. So I don't value these stats a lot. And if you want the rudder shift, then just take the rudder shift mod.
The nice thing, again, we talked about this before, the nice thing in this game is you can play your way Someone can play their way. Everybody can be happy. So put in plays differently. Let's move on. So this is the Lien's game, Commander, and so you've got Grease the Gears. You've got a lot of low point skills. Grease the Gears, Consumables Enhancements, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, Consumable Specialist, Incoming Fire Alert, Last Stand, Gun Feeder, Adrenaline Rush, Priority Target, Eye in the Sky. Dutch, it feels to me like there's a lot that you're not sure about with this ship. I agree, Zaka. I don't like this. Pick one. You don't run Incoming Fire Alert and Priority Target at the same time. Pick one. If you're going to be at far range, you can absolutely get away with running Incoming Fire Alert instead. That's one skill that I pick one and be done with it. Gun Feeder. I want to talk about this for a second. You're probably never going to switch to AP. Never going to feel like you need to. You're kind of sick today. Sorry to hear that, Glory.
I would definitely keep the Gun Feeder. Yeah, and Joe.
Okay.
I would drop 1 point skills, but the question is like, how many points do we need to drop? Like, what do we want to pick up instead? Do we want to
what's
pick up
missing?
a 3 point skill, or do we want to pick up a 4 point skill?
In my opinion, what's really missing is top grade gunner. So, you know, that would be very helpful. Why wouldn't you want a flat 8% boost to your reload? Go back up to what you're talking about up here with reload. If you're doing reload, why aren't you going into reload?
Yeah, if that's the case, we need to free up 4 points. I'd probably drop 2 1 point skills and a 2 point skill.
This is another example of I feel like you're trying to do too much at once. You're trying to be a close-in ship, but at the same time be a far-away ship. In my opinion, pick one or the other. Go for long-range fire support or up close and personal. I don't like the idea of trying to do both. Yeah, you take Top Grade Gunner too. So here, I'm gonna share how I would build this personally. And this might be a little bit controversial, but I don't care. First of all, Eye in the Sky is fine. I understand that's how you get main battery mod 1 or mod 3 or whatever, so you get the reload. But I don't know that I want Eye in the Sky, but let's take a look at this. I'm gonna drop. You don't really care about engine boost. You don't care about surveillance radar. You don't care about smoke generator because you don't have any of those. The only thing Consumables and Enhancements is good for is hydroacoustic search uptime. I don't think it's that useful in a Hindenburg, personally. Consumable Specialist, again, I don't know that that's useful. I wouldn't take Gun Feeder because if I'm going to play this ship, I'm playing it more of a long-range kitey boat that's going to allow me to smack things. Now, if I want top grade gunner, the other thing I might consider is heavy HE and SAP shells. You get a flat 10% extra bonus to damage. Makes you really pain in the butt at long range. Now, here's the thing.
At that point, I'm dropping concealment though. If you want to do that, you go full lighthouse.
Exactly what I was just about to mention. There's no point in running concealment expert. Now, top grade gunner gives you reload time if something is spotted within your standard range. If you increase your standard range, top grade gunner becomes more useful to you. So I would definitely go heavy HE and SAP shells. Now, 3 points left. The last 3 points I would put into survivability expert. Make it even more difficult for you to go down. 4,500 extra HP is kind of sexy when you add in the extra heals and everything along that line that you get from the ship. Makes you super tanky and hard to kill.
At that point, I would probably drop the 2 1 point skills and take the priority target instead though. I think knowing how many ships are targeting is more valuable, and you don't need the last stand in that build. Your rudder repairs quicker anyway because you took the rudder mod.
Yep.
and the engine is usually not a big deal. And you're so far in the back, you can afford to use a DCP if your engine really gets knocked out.
Okay. So this is how I think we've built here a long-range farming Hindenburg with Lutyens, right? This is a good way to set the ship up. Again, consider changing that, but it's up to you.
And I agree. If you want to go the full lighthouse build at the full long-range farming commitment build, you probably don't need the gun feeder.
Right.
But if you take the concealment and don't go with the heavy HE, and so I like the gun feeder to switch. Like, you could always see a broadside cruiser pop up and you want to quickly switch your ammo to punish it.
I have
like you're not going to use it against battleships, but against cruisers it's useful.
My general playstyle in this ship is, and any cruiser is, my guns are always hot. Very rarely do I not fire my guns. So for me, gun feeder is useless because my guns are always reloaded to the point where gun feeder doesn't help, right?
I mean, you can reload while the guns are reloading. Like you reload your guns and you're halfway through the reload, you can still use the gun feeder without much penalty. And it will just switch the ammo type and continue the reload.
I could have sworn that while you're reloading, you change ammo type and you don't get any bonus from gun feeder because you're reloading.
No,
I could have
you
sworn
do.
this is from when the guns are in the barrel and that's it.
No, you do now.
You do.
When the hell did Wargaming change that?
When they changed the gun feeder to the
patches.
when they changed it to the 40%
Okay.
from the 50.
Because I know they changed it so that like individual turrets will change their ammo type. Okay.
It's been a while, and that's why I think the skill is useful.
So in that point, I might even drop Lutyens' 1-point grease the gears and put it for gun feeder if that's the case. But anyway, this is how I would build my my Hindenburg, just as a long range spamming ship. If you want to play it more close range, let's talk about close range. So we're going to drop heavy AP and HE. Let's drop, what else? Eye in the sky, pick up concealment, pick up gun feeder. Is there anything I'm missing if you want to play it more of a close range?
No, that's probably what you're gonna take. If you really want to keep the eye in the sky, I mean, you could drop the survivability expert, but I think survivability is better.
Especially if you're playing up close and personal. I would definitely want to keep that. Nevermore is true, yes. AP against broadside upper belts for battleships, yes. But
not at these long ranges with the lighthouse build, though.
no, if you're up close and personal, AP works. If you're far away, it doesn't. So
because the problem with the German AP in general is like it has really high damage, but it has really, really poor penetration.
that's correct.
So,
The thing is the AP will work at range, but they need to be flat broadside, and you need to have that plunging fire.
And flat. We mean flat, like 90 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I dare say you don't even need the gun feeder to change ammo because you should be shooting 90% HE out of the thing because the AP is worthless until they're flat. And at that point, to shoot the HE, you have AP going.
Yep. That's kind of what I was trying to get at earlier, but
I mean, it's not like if you want to
It's
go
not
close, like you see a
that
broadside minnow tower or something, you can quickly switch and punish it. Like,
I agree. It's not that it's bad. It's just situation
like
awareness is going to do you much better.
right.
I mean, sure, but I'd rather have the gun feeder than the grease the gears because the turret traverse isn't that bad on this ship.
I like grease the gears because if you can't keep your guns on target, you can't shoot it. Especially if you're.
You can't keep the guns on target. You're not out turning your turrets in a Hindenburg.
I've had it happen a couple times. I needed to turn my turrets onto something else.
So, and I what you guys are hearing is nice because you're hearing two different schools of thought for the same ship. It always comes down to
It's whatever works for you. Realistically, that's what it is. Whatever works for you. All we can do is offer suggestions.
all right. Let's move on.
Because I was gonna say, Grunty and me have Luchins in our Z52, and everyone's like, "Are you nuts? He's better off than something else." We're like, "No,
I
it's
have them in
awesome."
my Z52 as well.
I have it in the C46.
Well, that's premium.
No.
No, it's a
Isn't
tech
it?
tree
It's a
tier
tier
9.
9 tech tree?
It's a tech tree
Okay.
tier 9.
But like we've got them in destroyers.
Right. Right. And everybody else says put them in Schlieffen, for example.
Yeah, I don't play Schlieffen.
Schlieffen, Hindenburg.
Yep. Anyway, signal flags, you only took one hydroacoustic search. Dutch, I'm curious as to why you only took one and why you took that one specifically, because to me, that one is probably the least effective of all the single flags you could take, plus it's also pretty expensive. So if you're trying to conserve flags, I wouldn't bother taking it. So, that's just me.
Yeah, I would.
I know what
the
you're
heal flag
saying.
is so good for every ship that has a heal.
I was gonna say I know what you're saying, Ham, but I just want quicker.
You've got 1,000 flags of that one in stock. Okay.
I mean, if he's not using them, they're just collecting dust.
True. Like my blue boosters that everybody complains that I use on premiums. Anyway,
You don't use enough of them.
let's go into the replay itself. Finally, here's our first battle of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and snooze the next ad break so we can try to get. This might be difficult, but I'll try to keep snoozing. We'll see if this works. What's up, Hungry? Good to see you.
I can always snooze them for you.
Thank you. So you are top tier. There's no carriers. Congrats. There's only one sub. I have to say congrats these days. He could rush mid, but it looks to me like Dutch wants to play a little bit longer range to start. Note as well the field of view. You've got it set to be zoomed much farther out from your ship. I used to run a mod that did that, and then I stopped because I felt like it made me too disconnected from the ship itself.
I think I would like going to the decap.
I would say I like him going to A. If he's set up for long range spamming, there's nothing to stop him from doing circles down there.
So
To where deep you have to contend with that stupid island.
Fair enough. My idea was like the decap looks very, very light.
But you have no cruiser going to decap, and you have both of them going to A. So, right, like all your DPM. Well, you got a Nevsky over there.
Another small reason is their sub is on the A cap, and the German cruisers are terrible against submarines.
I have,
But
in
they
my
don't
opinion,
have room for planes.
in my experience, I have found that going A is difficult because you have to get an angle on the northern part of that island where that Marsilli just got spotted. So you have to go all the way out to where that Charles Martel is, the H1 line, in order to get those kinds of shots. It just takes a lot of time. The decap is nice because there is no island there really to protect enemies. So you can, except for that really small one north of the decap, I suppose. So you do have a lot of opportunities there, a lot of options at D. I do agree there's that big island to the south there that kind of blocks your vision and your path.
You could just sit in a stern-on position and basically throttle juke a little bit without having to maneuver too much.
Grim Raiders is up. I like the Moskva stopping bow in. Remember, you penetrate 50 millimeters of armor, so you will chew the Moskva up.
Concentrate fire on the
Matter of fact, I would stay on the Moskva, frankly. Marsilli isn't that much of a threat right there.
Yeah, me too. You should also stop. Like you keep going full speed away. Like you
Well, his target
pretty
right
much have
now...
nothing in range.
Thank you, Puddin.
Except
His target right now is the Marseille. So because the Marseille is his target, and he's got the range, he doesn't feel like he needs to slow down.
yeah, but as soon as the Marseille reverses, he has no shots anymore.
I understand, and I agree with you. I'm trying to explain what's most likely his line of thinking. Look, he lost his target, so what does he do? He puts his plane up so that he can shoot another target. I disagree with Massachusetts. Keep focusing on the Moskva. You need the Moskva to keep backing up, to get him down, because the key threat to you is the radar from the Moskva, radaring the Kitakazi, and preventing the catch, or even causing a death. You have shells incoming because you've got incoming fire alert. You've got 2 people targeting you because you got a priority target. Your Vladivostok is rushing the middle, going up the channel. What a absolute unit there. And here's where, yes, you've got the range with the spotter plane, but it's in 49 seconds. You're going to lose that. Fortunately for you, the Marseille is going to just say, hey, go ahead and shoot me now. That's fine. Also, look at the Liang Black that went through the decap and is just going for it.
I really don't like how you ignore the Moscow.
I'd agree. HE rotating if he caused fires, true. But he's only caused 1 fire. He hasn't been rotating at all from fires. He's been rotating whatever he can shoot. To the point where he continues at the rear turrets on the Massachusetts or Marseille when he should be continuing to shoot the Moskva here. Nope, wait, squirrel. Fletcher detected.
Torpedos voraus.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
Torpedos direkt voraus.
And now, because your plane is down, you've got nobody else to shoot at except this Fletcher. Also, by the way, that's a destroyer, and you might be in range of his torpedoes had he fired, so you should probably be considering using Hydro here. This is why I don't like to depend on spotting aircraft to extend my range when I need to shoot at something.
I mean, I get that, but the whole problem is like there was no reason for him to be that far in the back in the first place.
I agree, but again, your playstyle versus the playstyle of the person that we're looking at, right? Your playstyle, you wouldn't have kited away this far, so you wouldn't be worried about, you know, not having a target. But his playstyle, and frankly maybe mine as well, hiding away too far. That range would have helped.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It's like you gotta adjust your playstyle to what you have your ship set up for, like.
Correct.
And if you play it without the range mod, you can't stay that far back.
Right. Now, Fletcher, you just luck chuck your torpedoes at 6 kilometers. Those absolutely will not hit the Fletcher. The only way for those to hit would be if he was engine boosting straight at you at that range.
Spread that fire, but you didn't even get fires.
Well, no, that was an earlier comment from a couple minutes ago. He's gotten 2 so far, 1 on the Conqueror and 1 on, I can't remember what, maybe Moskva. Moskva actually was able to back off and turn away and run.
Like, I get it. Like, it's nice to farm the fires and get the damage, but overall, it's more beneficial to take out these crucial ships that pose a real threat.
Yeah, that is true. I do love me farming some fires, though, in the ship. Vladivostok dies. That's oof. But whatever, he did his thing. Conqueror riding the border. You hate to see it. Dutch, I love how you told the enemy team as well that this Conqueror DCP. So he did that in all chat. Marsilli is now going down the channel.
Feueralarm!
You guys are tied up on ships now. Mospa has turned back around again. And now you are in front of your entire team, really. Bismarck Yamato are struggling to keep up with you. I do like that you had the wherewithal to stop and reverse when you realized you were about to overextend. Time to heal, by the way.
Aufklärungsflugzeug in der Luft.
I don't like that you're so focused on the Conqueror without even looking in between the salvos what is actually shooting at you.
I don't like that you put your plane up. I'm not sure what the plane was for. Also, I would have been asking that Kitakaze right behind you for a smoke screen. Okay, now you're doing it. But yeah, you were, I think, so tunnel visioned on this Conqueror that almost died. And he's not dead. He popped his heel.
Like, I don't mind trying to kill the
Oh, it's
Conqueror
Voodoo.
while it's low.
It's Voodoo in the Monmouth on the enemy team. Voodoo Popeye is a wargaming employee. Cool. He runs the super test program. Lutyens proc, go! Marseille is absolutely walking down the middle, but there's a Preußen there to receive him. Now, what? Wait. Oh, because the Conqueror's outside of your range. Okay. Well, the Salem got him anyway. But I do agree with Grunty. In between salvos, you should be looking to see where everybody is. Who are they targeting? If they're targeting you or somebody else. Mecklenburg charging down on the other side. So I would be turning south and full speeding here to help the Preußen with receiving the Marseille and the Mecklenburg. Note that you're not arcing your shells over the island here. You're too close.
Aufklärungsflugzeug kehrt zum Schiff zurück.
Right mouse button is the default free look bind. Yes, exactly. So right mouse button allows you to look around. I do that all the time when I'm playing the game. And this Preußen is going to die for no good. Because he sat there kind of broadside. Paid the price for it. Wait, the Marsilli survived. Oh my goodness. Yes, there is a Aslanes mod. It'll tell you how many people are radio locating you. Yes. I don't remember the name of it, Elusive, but it's in the Aslanes. I use it. I run it. Intuition?
Yep, by Titaro. I think it's in the same group where all the Titaro battle mods are.
There you go. Thank you, thank you. I need to update my mod list at some point. Good use of island cover here to block vision between you and the mech. No need to keep kiting away, though. I would be turning due south here.
I would just stop in this position. Like,
the only reason I would go due south is so that I can get in position to shoot the Marsilli once the Mecklenburg dies.
that's fair.
Versus, he's kiting away so far. He's going to kite away so far that by the time, you know, Mech dies, Marsilli's going to be out of his range. Rip the Yamato.
Like, all you have to do against the Mecklenburg is basically stay outside the secondary range.
Pretty much, yes.
So if you can keep your ship at like 14, 15 kilometers, you're fine.
Now you're looking back at the other team, but keep in mind, you've got a Charles Martel that's probably keeping the enemy team focused. Marcelli is pushing through. Those are shots. There's Voodoo Popeye. Well, if you're lucky, that Kita's going to get a nice torpedo hit on the Mecklenburg. Remember, Mecklenburg does not have Hydro.
I would just reverse slowly back to them.
He could also slow down.
Notice this a lot. It's either full stop, full speed ahead, or reverse. Like, there is no in between.
Yep. You want the Monmouth, there's no way you're getting him right now. I would F3 on the Monmouth and just focus back on the Mecklenburg. Let the Kitakaze deal with him. What's up, Wolfie? Oof. That Mossberg could have been power farmed. And he's kicking the teeth out of the Charles Martel. Yeah. Him and the rest of the team.
Yeah, that Mossberg could have been the first ship dead, quite frankly.
Yep. Now, we'll say this. You have 2 cruisers left, a destroyer, and a submarine. Look at where the submarine is. Nowhere near helpful. I dare say it's time for you to, like, not be kiting away. You're driving? Okay, well, be careful, man. You're kiting way too far away. So, here's what I think you need to do, Dutch. Either 1, change to reload, or change reload mod to range mod, or 2, get in the habit of saying, what is my maximum range? Take 80% of that maximum range, and that's how far you want to kite away. Unless you absolutely need to kite away farther from the target. So your range right now is 14?
I think the range mod doesn't fix the problem, because he would just keep kiting further away until he's out of range there too.
So the other thing is then, you need to take your range, divide that or multiply that by 0.8, and that's how far you need to go. Valiant, I already did, and I will continue to do it because I run range mod on my Hindenburg. And I love running range mod on my Hindenburg. But the difference is I understand how to play close range and vary my distances, where Dutch is just too far away. Bismarck shooting HE.
You should be focusing on the Mecklenburg here. Get the guns
Well,
out. He's
Mecklenburg
lower.
just got into his range, so yes, there he goes.
Moscow's on 3 kills now.
Yeah. Good thing you let him live.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz
Why aren't
vor
you
dem
shooting?
Sieg.
Determined to be out of range. Well, and again, here's the part where we were talking about top grade gunner, right? We were talking about ammunition. Has he fired AP at all this battle?
No. He had no good opportunity though.
No, he didn't. So, here's where top grade gunner lighthouse build, like what I showed, I think would have been more effective.
I mean, the top grade gunner would have. I don't even think the top grade gunner would have dropped this this game.
I
He
mean,
was so far back.
this is true.
Like, you still have hit points to spare. Like, it's. At some point, you gotta use them.
Gegnerische
I
Schlachtschiff
would agree.
zerstört.
Maybe now is a good
Alle
time.
Kräfte,
Earlier
dieses
would have been a
Ziel
better
decken.
time to charge. What are you afraid of a Bismarck for? Bismarck. Frankly, what are you afraid of a Mecklenburg for? It's a Mecklenburg. Instead,
They
you're
can't
just
even
allowing your
overmatch
teammates to
your
die.
bow.
And your sub, it looks like your sub is AFK, so that's oof. Now, a Bismarck
You put
shooting you...
AP here. This is the first
yeah.
opportunity to AP.
Mm-hmm.
Unser Team verlässt sich auf Sie.
Well, you know, that's the thing. You control your range from your by your angle, but also your distance using your speed. So you stop and reverse. Now you've managed to charge right into this guy's secondary range. And now you're showing broadside to the Moskva. This is the guy that you allowed to live, and this is the guy that's got 3 kills or whatever. What's the heal
Feueralarm!
for? Or the hydro for? And there's the loss.
Yeah, I think
Now-
you went into this game with the mindset, I want to farm ships. And, like, instead of taking the opportunity we're given to take out high value targets early.
Yeah, you did 222,000 damage. You're probably looking at it and saying, well, I did my part. The problem is you really didn't. Honestly, in that particular game, if you had stayed closer instead of kiting away as far, you'd probably have 260,000 damage. Would it have won you the game? Maybe. That's debatable. But I really feel like you left a lot of damage on the table by playing so far away. And your reload didn't really matter because you played so far away, you couldn't shoot at anything anyways. Let's take a look at your results screens here. So you came in second place. Yeah, and like I said, you probably felt good about that game. You came in second. You did your part.
5 kills on the Moskva. That's a big yikes.
Yeah. I'm glad we gave you a lot of information. That's the whole point, and that's why you share these replays, you know? I appreciate that, man. Out of your shell hits, look at the beauty that is 1/4 HE pen. Look at this right here. How many other ships are there besides, you know, the ship lines that have 1/4 HE pen? You're gonna fire almost 400 shells and hit, you know, penetrate with 327 of them. Really nice. So that's why I like to play to the strengths of the Hindenburg. I like to make it so that that HE will just chew into stuff and penetrate and do damage. To me, that's what it's all about. All right, let's look at the replay render. You know, what's interesting is with me moving my camera, now you can't see that as much. But what I can do is I can always move that up. And that kind of works. Indy is very sturdy, that's correct. He could have taken a hit or two. That is true.
I just think like here, like that Moskva is overcommitted.
Right. This is the part where you punish the Moskva. Now,
And you only stop shooting at it when it's dead.
to be fair, I don't know that he would have been able to kill the Moskva single-handedly. Moskva probably still would have gotten away, but he would have been so much lower health.
I mean, if the Hindenburg shoots the Moskva constantly, like Moskva concealment is like 14 kilometers, and let's assume the Hindenburg is constantly setting the Moskva on fire, which is very realistic. We're looking at 16 kilometers concealment. I'm not sure if that Moskva is going to get dark and getting away if everybody just focuses down.
Maybe. You never know. But remember what I said at the beginning of the game? If you want to go to A flank to kite and shoot, you're going to go to H1. Look where he is. He's at H1.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What did he took steering gears and he took propulsion. So
Propulsion plus steering, yeah.
yeah, so you took propulsion, you never really needed it because you never actually stopped. So I think that's the big part of your game that's missing. Yeah, that's the big part of the game that's missing is stopping and reversing to control your distance. I talked about this before, Dutch, in some of Robloxian's games too. What did he play that I talked about this a lot in? The Drake. He had a Drake replay that I talked about that in. You need to control the engagement using speed, using the ability to reverse to get back into range so that you're constantly able to shoot something. All right, folks. Well, what are we going to call this this replay then? I'm thinking like
Distance?
kiting too far away or something like that, or super
Distance?
kite. Distance?
Or keeping distance, or...
Okay.
Sailing away.
What did you
I mean,
say?
if you're saying sailing away if like you kite it too far.
Yeah, it's like pretty much for the whole game, except for the when he was the last ship alive.
Yeah.
He's like 3 kilometers too far, if not 4.
Sail away, sail away, sail away, like the song.
Right. From what I hear, it's Scrumpy's favorite
I
song.
agree with Sathia. Like, if that's your comfort distance to fight the ships, then you definitely want to take range mod.
Yep.
But if you're just not really paying enough attention, all that taking range mod will do is it will get you even further away, and you run into the same issue.
So, Dutch, we're about to finish talking about your replay. I'd love to hear from you if there's any questions that we can respond to. Otherwise, we will move on to our next replay, and thank you for sending that one in.